I'm Laurie Stevenson.
I'm Katie Keller, and Laurie's my mentor, and I am teaching 5th grade, 6th grade special needs, and this is our meeting.
All right. Let's just start off. How was your day going today?
Today was interesting. I'm always trying to work on relaying the material in different ways in order for kids to grasp it. We are trying to master our subtracting decimals in order to move on to division. And that's something that I've been working on for the last 2 weeks right now. And I've tried to use different methods so they can see it differently. And I go in waves of up and down of frustration because some days they show that they really have it, and then it seems like they can't hold on to it for the next day when we review it. So I'm trying to work through that.
Okay, so basically I have it 1 minute and then the next minute it's gone.
Right.
What different ways have you tried?
Well, I'm using manipulatives.
Okay.
And then I did do some video with the Pearson Realize. I used the animated stuff that like our Pearson Realize representative mentioned. So I exposed them to that. But mainly I always find myself coming back to the whiteboard and having them just repeat the steps with me slowly and meticulously, especially they're just having a hard time remembering to regroup. So they'll just think 0 minus 9 is 9 and not realizing that they cannot take 9 from 0.
Oh, so they're just trying to flip the numbers then so that it makes an easier subtraction problem?
No, well, they're just saying 0 minus 9 is 9. So
Okay.
yeah, maybe in their head they're just like, yeah, 9 minus 0 is 9. And it's
Okay.
0 minus 9. So that's what, and I feel like I can't even really get to long division if they can't master that part. I mean, I've done simple division problems with them, just like a Mad Minute Math, and that's fine because they use their hundreds charts. Mm-hmm. And they'll read the information. They've learned how to read the information backwards to find that answer. But in order to, I have one student in 5th grade who's just now working on long division. But I'm still having to kind of remind him of the steps when we're in it because it's something so new.
Okay. I like that you're trying to teach them like the prerequisite skills they need for the division. If they're just getting hung up on something like the subtraction part, you might want to look at maybe one type of manipulative just for that, or maybe a calculator or something, so they're not getting hung up on that one particular aspect. There's a couple different things out there that you might try for that.
Okay, so I didn't even think about using a calculator. So at this point, it's okay to use.
Yeah, you might just subtraction only.
Okay.
You tell the kids you can use this just for subtraction only.
Okay.
That way you can teach them the process.
Right, because they can't see the process at all. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and look online for other resources too. That's something I found that works well for my kids, but it may not work for your kids, and they may come up with ideas of their own that will work for them too.
Okay, so maybe listen to the kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another thing is that when I'm being like observed by our principal, she really is stressing collaborative learning, which I find hard in this setting, and I'm trying to implement more. I just didn't know what your thoughts were on that because I feel like they do better individually because the collaboration could easily get off task, and I feel like I have to redirect constantly when I've tried the few times of collaboration. So do you think I should continue to try that, or I didn't know how you felt about collaborating?
Yeah, I think the collaborating is a good idea. When you're going to do that with the kids, you want to make sure that your procedures and your routines are established long before you get to the point of where they're doing like buddy work or
so maybe
small group.
Went in too fast because the first couple times I'm like, okay, it was too much redirecting.
Yeah, it might be. I think that's exactly what it might be. You might want to take it back a little and just start right from the beginning.
Okay.
With your routines and procedures and what your expectations are for them during that activity.
Okay.
And
so be clear about that.
Yeah. Okay. You might want to model it too, and then you might have a couple kids who you think have gotten it be the model for the class.
Okay.
And you can go from there. Observe your kids, see what they're doing, and reinforce, reinforce what they're doing well, or, help them to fix whatever still
Okay.
isn't quite right.
Okay, so keep continuing on it. Just restart it out.
Yeah.
Modeling. Okay, good.
Yeah, I like that you're doing that, because the kids learn a lot better when they're learning from peers than from us, because
Right, they're more interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're just not cool. And then, what else do you want to talk about today?
So I'm trying to work on I'm trying to figure out how to design a more proficient and individualized lesson plan based off their current knowledge for my 5th and 6th graders. I'm trying to differentiate and make the lesson more tailored, and I am slowly branching out. It has been a little bit difficult, but feel like I'm getting better, but I feel like I still need some more tips on that. I have for my 6th grade, I have one student who is finally attempting the CPM math that his gen ed students are in. That's just one student, and the rest of them I still feel like there's a few that aren't quite to that, but they're above a few of my other ones. So I've been handing out different worksheets, but then I find that I'm not able to hit them all at the same time and give my attention towards them is not equal.
Okay, so basically, like, you feel like with them doing something different, you're split too many different ways?
Yeah, so I have, for example, my 6th grade math, I find like there's still there's probably 2 or 3 that are severely low, so they're just working on maybe double digit minus subtracting double digits.
Okay.
Where the rest of them are subtracting whole numbers from decimals.
Okay.
So that's a huge jump. But the other ones aren't ready. So, but then I know that it's really important to just immediately recognize what the problem is as they're making it, and I feel like I'm not able to do that because they're all on different levels. And it's probably my biggest class too.
Okay.
So
you're just spread too thin on that one particular thing.
Especially when the aide is trying to focus on boosting the one kid into CPM math, which
Okay.
I mean I would like to do myself, but she's doing that.
What have you tried so far as dividing your time up between the kids? Like, what seems to work better than
Okay, so
other
for
things?
I'll focus on the first 3
Okay.
that are like, doing the whole digit subtraction from decimals.
Okay.
I'll put them together.
Okay.
So they're all in the same row.
Okay.
We work through a few problems, 1 or 2 problems, and then try it on your own, and then I'm jump back to the second row where my next 3 are. And then I do have I did over the past few days try to pair a person up who got it and show another person who was a little bit how was struggling.
Okay.
I did do that, and then I had the one over there. So that's kind of what I've tried, but I still feel like I'm not really reaching.
I like how you did the peer tutoring though. I mean, that goes
just
with
recently.
the administrator, wanting to see more collaboration.
Right.
So that's like, it's on the right track for that.
Okay.
And the fact that you're grouping your kids too, as far as what they're doing, that will help you divide your time up a little better. Does that seem to be working better than having them work individually?
Yeah, because I mean, well, they're still working individually, but maybe I need to have them work together to be like, okay, this is the next step for that problem. Maybe.
How could you do that? How do you think you could take like the trio and have them work as a group rather than individually, but sitting together?
Like put them at a beam table or something right here, or the kidney table, and having them work it out maybe with markers so they're not feeling frustrated on the paper.
Okay. Yeah, that would probably work too. Instead of like having them are they each doing like, they've got a worksheet, I understand, and they're each doing like, they have the same worksheet with the same problems on it?
They do. Yeah.
You might be able to have them like work at the table with some manipulatives and work on the same problem together.
Okay.
Like maybe having them do it and catch each other's mistakes.
Okay,
Like do
so
it and
maybe
share, compare.
Okay.
And then you
share,
can
compare. That's good.
hit
okay.
your-
I'm gonna try.
And then they're
okay.
collaborating a little bit more.
Okay. And then I can oversee it a little bit more after I check in with the
Yeah.
second group. Okay. Okay. I think that right now is probably okay.
Okay.
Um,
Right.
Unless you have any other, of course, there's probably a million things I could focus on.
Well, that's okay. We gotta narrow it down and pick something and,
Okay.
and go from there. I actually think we're way over our time. We
yeah,
are. Okay. All right. So let's wrap this up. What are you planning on doing before we meet next time?
Okay, so I'm gonna do that grouping thing,
Okay.
think, pair, share, and have them just review the one. So maybe assign 2 problems
Okay.
while I'm working with the other group,
Mm-hmm.
and then come back and say, okay, who do we think has the right answer, or what did you guys come up with?
Okay.
That might help.
Okay.
So that I feel a little bit more confident in that versus because once they're by themselves, then they just shut down and they don't have any help.
Yeah, and I like how you're wanting to have them work together more. Like that will help them be more in charge of their own learning and give them, just their age group. They're more
Right.
social, and
Right.
we're totally not cool. So
Yes.
if they can learn from their peers, I think
Then
you're on
we're
the right
good.
track. I think that's
Okay.
gonna work really well for you.
Okay,
All
so
right?
I'm gonna look at that one for sure.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.